Okay, so what year did you change practices? What year did you start really?
Well, yeah, like I never changed practices. Well, I've been at it for 1982, since I started to become interested in agriculture and soils, and ultimately food quality, because it's when you start looking at food quality that you discover all that other stuff really, which food quality is the driver behind it. And luckily you get environmental care thrown in with that one automatically. It can't be any other way.
So 1982 is when you started?
I started my studies.
Your studies, and when did you start farming?
When did we start? 1996. So we started farming because we wanted to form healthy communities based on primary production, which is, you don't have to say it that way, because healthy communities evolve out of primary production systems, else they're not healthy. But because I wanted to walk the talk, I needed to know what practical farming meant as well. So I did start farming in 1996. I didn't do it full time. I went full time some years and not full time other years, but in those other years I was either running around talking to other farmers or producers, or involved in some organization that was into some form of ecological agriculture. So from 1996.
Yeah. And I'm not sure whether we need to purposes of this, but when did Wairarapa Eco Farms start?
In 1996.
That was 96.
That was 1996.
Okay, so it's applying for the Innovation Award. Describe how you are innovative.
How are we innovative? Like I said, we're not doing anything special yet, but and this is probably the exercise they're aiming at, is if you compare us to other activities, then our innovation is into reducing work, creating more complexity, which means we're basically growing about 50 lines from that production lines, so stuff that brings in money, because we're growing soil as well, but you can't quantify that. But production lines, we grow about 40 to 50 lines of products, and they're all working together into one whole. We grow that 40 lines of products because we need that, this is becoming repetitive, because we need that to look after our soil. The soil has a digestive system and a regulatory system. So that means all these functions are free ecosystem services. If you maintain them, you don't have to use inputs, which means you produce pretty cheap and you produce top quality. Funny, this sounds strange to some people, but the same goes up for the product that comes off of it, which is food for other people. People that eat food, they need stuff to grow on, and they need stuff to regulate the body, which is the immune system, all those physiological active substances, is basically the same. So you have a digestive system in the soil, mineralization, and you have a restorative force or regulative force, which is humification. In your body, the same elements are required for digesting food and building up your body and building up your immune system. So those 40-50 lines, they bring in elements that complement each other, so that's in balance. Which basically means those elements are in the food as well, so we got high food quality. So this basically means then that we grow a diet for the soil, and we grow a diet for the people that buy from us. That's basically the concept, and that's basically part of the marketing structure as well. We sell directly, which means that it's creating the foundation for a community based on complexity and resilience, which is just other words for health and growing and health, really.
And to what extent is the CSA innovative as well? I mean,
well, the CSA is innovative our CSA is, I don't know, CSAs are innovative in itself, basically because of what I just said. Our CSA is innovative because it's trying to make the next step. And that relates to what we started off earlier. I'm always trying to explain to you guys that the infrastructure is not good. We're struggling with the infrastructure all the time. That basically means we can only overcome that if we have a community that builds its own infrastructure, and in that way close the cycle of life, close the cycle of nutrients, close the cycle of energy altogether. So in that way we're different, and in that way we're starting to add value to the already fresh diet that we have. We're starting to add value by making traditional, ecologically founded, add value to the food by fermenting, by processing. And also, the other side of the coin is you create jobs. This is the big difference. There's also a question in there about profitability somewhere. It's not about profitability. It's nice to have profitability, and we, from a strictly economic sense, we are profitable for the simple reason that we have no inputs. We have to be profitable. But having said that, it's more about creating jobs that add value to a community. That's what we're doing. That's why we want to have a baker within the organization. That's why we want to have a butcher within the organization. That's why we want to have an in-house mechanic, so that we actually could do the innovative things that we want to be doing. Not the stuff that we're already doing with the equipment that we've gathered from the old society, which is not fit for purpose in my view. We need a mechanic that allows us to innovate. We're getting off the topic probably, but
no, I think we're all right. Okay, how have you incorporated